Hello, everybody. It's Marty the JavaScript party. Rhett is out in the living room. It is a crazy day, very, very different than most Saturdays. I did my 3JS one earlier this morning, and then we went out to the mountains in Georgia, North Georgia, and got some apples and baked goods and vegetables and things like that. It's just absolutely beautiful out there this time of year. And it's just going to get more pretty for like the next 3 months. It's just going to be absolutely gorgeous out there so we start to get into fall colors and all that. It's just absolutely beautiful over there. Healthy. The people are very, very sweet out there. They're a little bit standoffish at first, but then they sort of warm up a little bit once they see that you're like not looking for trouble. Um, but so we have an API, and last I checked, it was working. Let's see if our API is still working. Actually, it must be working because that's where this stuff comes from, our API. So actually, what'll be fun is to look in here and inspect. Oh, that's kind of cool that I have it this way. Network, reload. What we're looking for is, yeah, our Word PHP region. So yeah, it is up and running. This is what it said. If we go to this, we can actually right click on this and say open a new tab. And there it is. So that's our PHP. So today we want to do is we want to update it to certain a list of locales. And I guess the list of locales is going to be like the name, the region, and the language, I guess. I think that makes sense. Um, because then from that list I can put together this URL. So right now we only have one locale that we support, and that is US English. And see, we got Words API, EN US. So it's EN US, and then it's called Words. So right at the top, I would like to add a new thing, and I guess, kind of like index.php, but it's going to be locales.php. So what I probably want to do is just, yeah, I'd rather do this one. Okay, so what this does, it actually goes and gets the locale from this and prints it out. I don't think I want to do that. Maybe I do. I don't think so. I think what I want to do is just print out JSON. So like I know I want the name of this thing to be we actually said what the name was going to be. It's going to be locales.php. So I'm going to say new file, locale. I would definitely say this is like I'm not, I was going to say this is the weakest part of my software development, but that's just not true because there's like API, and then once you get past the API, there's database and a lot of other sorts of services and things like that. And like the farther you get from the front end, the worst I get. The worse I get. Um, locales. I just want to make sure I spelled that right. Not that it's a big deal. Sometimes it's a really big deal. Okay, so basically, to I want my PHP to print out. Do I really want to do it that way? I guess I don't. I can't figure out. I'm trying to decide. Do I want to like just have the PHP print out the locales directly, or do I want to print out a JSON? I don't think it makes a difference in this scenario. Now, if I was going to a database and pulling data out, um, it's different, but I'm not doing that. So let me go over here and ChatGPT. Um, okay, so I want to, so want a PHP file, PHP script that returns an array of JSON objects that only has one element in it think record's probably a better name. In it, so like this, like this. And so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to have an object, and then I'm going to have a name, and then I'm going to have like English, and comma, and then it's going to have like a region. It's going to be like US, and then comma, and it's going to be like language. And then it's going to be like what is it? EN? Yeah, EN. And I guess that should be lowercase EN US US English. Now, see, I don't know. Like, it would be kind of nice to be like, um, it's so weird that you don't have. I find it emotionally distressing that you don't have to close this tag. Um, I'm a little disturbed. But yeah, so I don't think there's any benefit to having it like take a JSON file and print it out. Now maybe there is, um, but I don't think so. But we'll see. We'll see. I may end up changing my mind in the future. But this is the only locale that we support right now. All right, so now I'm going to open my FTP up, and hopefully I don't divulge any information that I don't want divulged. Oh, FileZilla, that's it right there. That's the thing. Okay, good. That showed up off screen. So, and it looks like that was the last thing. I don't really use FTP very often, um, but it looks like the last time I used it was on this project. So that's good. I like email. Yeah, I think this is right. This seems right. You don't know what I'm looking at, but it's just basically like it's a little weird. Okay, yeah. So it's since the last time I worked on it, I'm actually defaulted into the right area. Say hello. Mm, no, Word OPI API. All right. So now I'm going to take the locales. Boom. And let's just go over here, just make sure that works. And so what I want to see is the locales. Locales.php. There it is. All right. So I think that was the whole task for today. Let's see. Okay, so tomorrow, so next week's was supposed to be to um, add two new locales, but I will do that now since we have that. Um, let's see. I think I should go for Japanese because I really do enjoy that one, and Japanese. I think it's JPJP. It might be JAJP, but I don't know which one is that. And then let's go with Mexican Spanish. All right, so let's see, just to save time, because I don't think this is, it is so weird. Like the way you consume artificial intelligence is like, it's very important that you don't just consume it. Oh, it's funny is my PHP is now, or my FTP is in the way. You don't just consume um, it's probably not a good idea to consume AI just without being pretty measured in your approach. And I think the first thing you like when I'm starting to develop sort of a scheme, right? And I think the scheme is like, is this information something that I want to like something that can help me build intelligence and value? Or is this something that's just like a one-off that I'm just going to do one time? Or is this and I don't really care. Or is it something that like isn't even worth like at all even becoming proficient at? So I don't think this has any value in any way, shape, or form. Like, and the question I'm about to ask, I'm basically going to ask, what is the region locale combination for, um, yeah, region language combination for Japanese, Japan Japanese. It's the region, um, region language combination for Japanese, Japan/Japanese. JPJA, name JPJA. So this would go into into here. And then, so I want to come in here. Whoop, wrong one. Yeah, right one. And so then we're going to put, wow. Okay, so I don't even know how you'd update this. This is fascinating. I think what you would do, here's my guess. I'm going to make a guess and then we'll see. I'll paste it in um, to ChatGPT. And I will say that if this works, um, um, if it works, I'll be smarter when I'm done. But if it doesn't work, I'll be even smarter when I'm done. Um, but if I just asked it, oh, how do I do the like? If I just asked it and copied, it would. Was it JPG? Okay, the language is JA. I think this looks right to me, but I'm not sure. Okay, is this how I would update this how would update my PHP? So once again, if I got it right, I've gotten smarter, a little bit smarter, not a lot smarter. If I got it wrong, I probably will be significantly smarter. I'll get more smart by being wrong because that correction will be useful. Exactly. Okay. All right. Now we could have FTP'd it out. Maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should have just FTP'd it out. Okay, so now we want to see two items here. Okay, so now we have Japanese, Japan. So I think we should do the other one now. Okay, so now how about Spanish? Okay. What is the JSON for Spanish, Mexican Spanish? Ooh, Spanish. I think it's ESMX. Okay, so I think this is right. JSON. All right. And then, all right, so now I'm going to copy this so we can have 3 items. And we know it's Mexico. We're saying the country, Mexico. And Spanish. And then the region, I believe, is MX. And then the language is ES. Let's see. It might be SP. I can't remember. Seems like it should be ES for Espanol. Yeah, but we say Spanish, so it'd be SP. But I think if for Spain it's SPES. All right, so now let's go back over here, hit save, and I'm gonna FTP it up. Oh, there we go. Now we've configured 3 of these. We don't even use this configuration yet. I think that's next week's. But we do, as part of that, we do need to add 2 new folders in here, right? And the one folder is JP, I believe, because basically, oh no, it's the language is what we do first. So it's JA, and then the other one is EN, no, ES. So JA, so we got, oop, where did you go? Oh, so we got JAEN and new folder, and MX for the region. No, we would do language first, ES. I'm amazed how those sorts of things just get mixed up in my head so bad. All right, and then once we open that up, we want to add a new folder, and this is ES, so it's MX for Mexico, and this is JA, so it's Japanese, and new folder is JP for Japan. All right. Now in here, we want to add a words.json. Words.json. And then this one, new file, words.json. And then if we look in this one, see this one is kind of like a lot. And I don't want to go crazy because we do want to add like a description. And so I just want to have like hello in Japanese and hello in Spanish. So I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to come down here. I'm going to paste it. And I'm just going to get rid of one of the, all but one. And then I'm going to copy this. And I think like we could spend like 15, 20 minutes like figuring out like the right word and the everything, but it's probably a lot easier to um to just ask ChatGPT. And I don't know that going through the process of looking it up and figuring out all that does me any good. Okay, so this is what I have for English. Can you make me, oops, I don't even know how I did that. F11? Okay. And I did not want this one. Can you make me um a group for Japanese Japan? Oh, that's perfect. And I did want that. Now, sometimes when I copy it like this, you get really strange results. So let's see what we get over here. So basically, this is the Japanese one. And I believe that's Konnichiwa. Um, and then, and that's how it works, right? Yeah. So what we're gonna add, like I think it's the last week, is hello, and then this is a general hello. Oh, it's gonna be like description. This is a general hello for um, typically used when da, 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 da. And then hi will be like it's a bit informal, not but not insulting. It's not an insulting informal, but it is a bit informal. But anyway, so I think okay, so now we need one for in Spanish, Mexican Spanish. Okay, how about one? One word. Hola. Right. Perfect. That's perfect. All right. So I don't think we lost anything there in intelligence, right? Like I don't think we're any dumber or smarter or anything because of that. It just what just isn't. It's just one of those things. It's just not that big of a deal. Um, there's just not a whole lot of value in just being able to do that from memory. I do know how to make JSON already. Like there's just really no real value. I guess there could have been a value like being able to upload it, search someplace else, but like honestly, all this technology is all like it's all a stack. It's all a big Jenga stack. If it's gone, it's gone. I mean, so it doesn't do you any good. All right, so in theory now, so I've added the two and all that. So let's just do this one. So I think to get done first week of next month, I needed to get two of these things done in one day. So we did get two done in one day. Um, so now to test this, we want to try. Okay, let's just make sure everything works, right? So we're gonna go greetings, and so we have a match there. It was not hello, it was not a match for hi, it's not a match for hey, but it was a match for greetings, and we have that there. So now we want to go, let's try one of the other ones. Let's try ES, which is Spanish, and MX. There we go. It was nice having that little spinner too. So Hola. Hola. See, that's weird. Hola. Hello? It's weird. It's not working. Hola. That is bizarre. Now it's working. Hola. Ova. What do ova means in Spanish? Hola. All right. So now let's try Japanese. So I think it's JA for the, I cannot remember. I don't want to get it wrong either. Okay, yes, JA/JP. I just basically looked down here and saw that this is JAJP. All right, let's try this. This one's harder. This is Konishiwa, I believe. Konishiwa. Yeah, baby. All right, so just like it's weird, right? Because like this is what this is going to be like the 20, the 37th video, right? So that means we've spent like 37 hours. But like today, we did two full languages. It's so hard for people to like it's so hard for people outside of coding to understand what's even going on here because like it took us like 30 it took me 36 videos to get to where I had one, and now I went from one to three in one video. And um and that's very very normal. And like but the thing is like it's very very difficult to predict whether that first set to get us to one was going to be 10 or 300. It's very hard to to predict. And one of the big reasons it's hard to predict is just because technology is always changing, and certain things that were hard become easy, and something that maybe would have taken weeks now takes hours. But then a new thing comes up that takes weeks, and then like it just depends on what you want. But anyway, so we have JAJP. What is next? So that is done. We added two new locales. So now next will be update the UI. So that ended up being so easy, right? Like again, and to be very clear, like API work is generally much more complicated than that. It's not more complicated because it's more complicated. It's more complicated because generally there's all kinds of security and all kinds of other layers of abstraction involved. You can't just print out a JSON. You have to go in and you got to go figure out what you're getting. You got to get connection to the database. You got to, there's just all kinds of stuff that has to happen in order to, you got to check probably a token to make sure that they're allowed to get it. And you got to maybe go check some sort of roles. And it's just so much harder. But like, since we have no roles, since we have no security, we have no nothing, we're only doing gets, we're not doing posts or anything like that. It's just super simple. So we could just burn through two very quickly. Okay, so now what I want to do is update like a navigation to these things. So that is going to be like the next task. And I guess I don't know, do you think you should go to the right here next to start microphone, or below welcome and then status and then language with a drop down and that, and then like you could select the drop down. I guess that would be the way to go. So this is actually may take more than 1 week though. This one actually is pretty significant. Um, it's kind of funny though, because like, yeah, this is a really good time I think to do a commit though. I mean, like everything's working really well. So I don't want to commit the README, but this one I want to commit, and then I'm really happy with how everything works right now. So I definitely don't want to lose this. Let's see, is there anything in here? So now I'm just literally just looking for anything that just jumps out at me as just like being bad. And like when you're working with a lot of people and all that, then like it is huge to have like your own separate feature branches and all that so that you can kind of see where your system was. Um, it can get Git can get super confusing because it can be hard to tell. So like I've seen people argue just all day long. Like they'll literally like 4, 5, 6, 8 hours just arguing. No, this had to work because see this commitment, this was committed like 3 months ago, and it just started breaking 3 days ago or whatever. And there's no way that this did it because it's been committed all that time. But the thing was it was committed into the branch, the feature branch. It was not merged into the main branch. It may have just been merged like 3 days ago. And they're looking at these logs and they'll just argue and argue and argue all day. And it's just like, and I don't know that there's any way to necessarily tell when code got merged in. And so it's really nice to have nice local feature branches because then you can go and look, and as long as you don't merge it, you can see what the state of it was when your code was in there. And that's super important. Is this okay, this is our words homepage. Oh, we probably should have added our other links and stuff. Now we have more information. So hopefully I remember to do that at some point in the future. It's not the end of the world, but if I don't, it's not that big of a deal. But it'd be kind of nice. Okay. I think that might have been the first Japanese I've ever coded. So that's kind of fun. And see, this was all pretty easy, and that is the reality that I found in 2026. I don't think it's always been this way for my whole life, but in the last 4 or 5, maybe 10 years, it's been like if you if you coding, really doing just about anything is either just trivially easy or damn near impossible. Those are the only two choices. There's no like middle ground. There's no like, oh, now it's a little easier. Okay, I've been working on this for a week and it's really hard. Okay, now I've been working on it for 3 weeks and now it's like instead of being a 10 on hard, it's a 9 on hard. Okay, now I've been working on it. No, what happens is it seems like you go from a 10 to 9 just like that, but then you just kind of hang out at 9 and then it goes to 1 and it's just dirt simple. There's no 5. You know, you're never at 5. You're just slowly, or maybe you're at 5 for a day. Um, but you just kind of it either stays hard forever or it was easy to begin with or it starts hard but if you're careful you can get to where it's easy. um, implements the API and UI updates. All right. Now I don't think I should push that change though. Because I can always bail out of that change as long as I have pushed. And there is a possibility that I may want something else to be committed with that stuff. But this is a fully working scheme. All right, so I think what we'll have to do for the next task, so let's go back up to our README. This is where all our tasks are, and let's just close everything else. All right, so now we want to update the nav UI. And so I decided I wanted that to go at least give myself a little bit of start. I don't know that I'm hoping this will be a 1 week thing next week. And that'll be good because then next week will be the 29th. And then if I can get this working, then the first week of September, April, August, September, the first week of September, I'll be able to um, I'll probably be done with this project. And then, like I said, I'll probably just move into a pure maintenance mode where literally all we do is just add maybe a description, a new word, like maybe that'll be the new hello and what it means and why it means it, blah 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 blah. Um, but we'll have the basic application working, and then I can probably that maybe that'll be a Friday night thing. That seems like a really good Friday night thing. Um, but yeah, so that'll be that. And we are coming into where the winter, I just don't know if I code more in the winter or in the summer. I feel like I code more in the summer, even though I remember coding more in the winter. I think I just don't do as much stuff in the winter. So since I don't do as much stuff in the winter, it seems like I do more coding. Um, but all right, so let me just get myself started just so I can kind of limit the amount of time it's going to take next time. Say hello, source, main, app, components. This is our app component. Okay, so yeah, everything's up in here. And then content. Okay, so welcome to Say Hello. This is what you're getting there. And so now we want to do, and this probably should just, yeah, there's absolutely no reason for this to even be any kind of smarts at all, but div uh, nav goes here. And then it's going to be our drop down for locale drop down, locale DD, and then comma, and language DD. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, no, it's going to have to be the locale. Locale. Locale drop down. And it's probably going to be like the link for like it's going to probably be like a drop down, a select drop down, and it's going to be like the name and then the region and all that in the drop down. So then and that shouldn't be too bad. Let's see. Boom. Be interesting to see if this thing gets into Angular 23. Nav goes here, locale drop down. All right, so now the way I do this is let's go over here and I'm just going to say locale nav. I was thinking about like how like it's always such an argument over like when you should start um the the architecture. And to me, it's kind of like I don't know if you ever go on vacations and all that, but like if you're gonna go to a vacation, let's say you're gonna go on vacation, you're gonna go to some other town, and you're leaving at like 8 a.m. You're gonna get there at 5, and you're gonna want dinner at 5 o'clock, and then like so your choice can be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go have dinner at 5, and I'm gonna look up from here from home, and I'm gonna determine where I have dinner so that I'm not just stuck with some whatever I see, like if there's nothing good. I want to at least know ahead of time, like read about some of the restaurants around there and then select a restaurant so that I can have a nice meal tonight with my family or whatever. And so you go to the town. And the thing is so that's better. That's definitely better to look ahead of time to see. But the thing is you might get to your hotel and there might be an amazing restaurant across the street that looks absolutely amazing. And the restaurant that you saw online doesn't look as good, or you're just tired or whatever, or it's harder to get there than you thought it would be or whatever. And so you got to be willing to what they call pivot now, where you're like, okay, instead of going to the restaurant that I had in mind, I'm going to go to the new restaurant. That's exactly how architecture works. You've got to come up with an architecture early, but you also, when you get there, you have to reevaluate and pivot away from that if it doesn't make sense when you get there. a lot of times I see people hold to their architecture even though the much better systems come into place. So it looks like we just have a components, and I don't think there's a big, there's not a lot. Well, maybe. So I have an execution panel. Yeah, yeah. So it's just one level down. So this component is going to be called locale nav. And I think they used to put the word component in things, but they quit doing that. And I don't know why, but so I'm going to add that component. And that's like one of those things that changed. I'm pretty sure it used to. And you just have to be able to roll with change, unfortunately. Locale. I mean, things could be so much more efficient if we could just settle down. But like every time you move forward at all, just massive improvements just present themselves. And the thing is not all the massive improvements are all about locale nav. That's spelled right, right? Am I? Oh, I'm not in the right folder. Not all of those improvements are like for people. You know what I mean? There might be that massive improvements for stuff that isn't even CIR. For stuff that isn't even like that great, right? You would have. What am I trying to say? Like there might be massive improvements, but it has nothing to do with anything that any humans want. Like it might just be better for like the networks, or it might be better for like web traffic or all kinds of stuff, but nothing that people would actually experience. Okay, so here's our local nav component. I'm kind of trying to do everything that's just going to be like super simple. See, I love this. I feel like they used to all do this. Okay, so we got to come up here and we have to come into here. Now let's go ahead and delete this thing. Delete. So I think I've deleted maybe 6 or 7 types unit tests without going on an emotional rant. So I think I'm getting a little bit more control over my emotions. I notice like a lot of like people, there are a lot of people who I enjoy listening to their analysis. Like just sort of they'll look at all the problems in the world and then they sort of absorb them and consume them and then they like the way they see it really matches up with the way I like to see things. Hadn't like I hadn't really thought through it as deep as they had thought through it. So but a lot of those people, like if they get on very specific topics, they're just like almost impossible to like they're just insufferable. They just become insufferable. And I feel like that is what was happening with me with all my whining about unit tests and the fact that Angular went away from, sort of changed gears. And, it was weird. It was just getting me on a weird, okay, so that's right, on a weird mode. Okay, so I think we want, feel like it's going to be really faster to go to Angular material. Sometimes things are just like easier to do when you're doing it. So like I don't think that like connecting to the database, connecting to the API and getting the data through like a service and all that, I don't think that's going to go any faster by doing it this week, but I think this is going to go faster. So here is I think what we want. We want this select here and we just want a very basic one. So we know we need this. This is like the first thing I always do is just go over here. I'm not even like thinking, right? So this is like me just going, just as if I was asking. There's no difference between that and asking ChatGPT, can you make this for me or whatever? So we're pulling this guy in. We have our mat select module. And then we're going to come over here. going to go to imports, Control V, there, there. And that shouldn't make any difference, but it with Angular material, it's good to check just to make sure you haven't just broken everything. Kind of seems like I have just in fact broken everything. Or it's just being really slow. Okay, so it says it's built, but this is just hanging. It's weird. Okay, I wonder why that is weird. Yeah, I don't know what to think of that. That was very strange. Okay, so now we have that. We have our select. So now let's come over here and let's go to our examples. And let's see if we can find it. So this is a nice one, right? Because, oh no, that's not what I want. I want yeah, like this, but I don't want any. And this is the native. Ooh, I just want a basic one, guys. Hmm. Let's see the overview. Maybe the overview one. Oh yeah, I think this is the good one. Yeah. Okay. Favorite food. Okay, so this is always weird because it's like in a form and they very often do model, which I used to be very standard, but okay, so it's just connected to this thing here. So, and see, this is nice because it's not inside of a form or anything. Always get very confused with like when you're supposed to um, have a form versus um, other things. Okay, so looks like okay, so I can copy. I'll just copy that over, and I'm going to come in here. I'm just going to put this here, but I'm going to get rid of this for loop because we do not have foods. And then I'm going to say for my value, I'm going to say hello. Okay, so it's upset because it's got this brackets around it, which is telling it there's a variable that it needs to connect to, and then this is world. And then we're going to say hi, Earth. And that's fun. All right, so now let's see what we get over here. See if it just hangs again. I don't know what that was last time. Favorite food? Probably it's not a favorite food though. This is and it is not favorite food, but it is locale. And then I think this says in a handler for open close value change. I think this is the one. I know there's something different between select change and value change. Do we want select change? That means that they changed something, but the value could be the same. I think this is saying, hey, the value actually changed. So if you have two identical, that's what we want. And then uh, um, change locale. And I don't know. I'm actually very curious. Let's go look at the API real quick. In here. So I think we can look at this. Learning how to read these APIs is pretty crazy. Okay, so that's open change, value change, select change, selection change. Okay, so what did I do? Value. Oh, is it farther down because of the spelling? Probably. It's probably no. There was a value change, right? Input, output, output. Open change and selection change. Okay, so I don't know why our thing was telling us there was a value change, but it looks like we want selection change. And I'm pretty sure we're on the most recent one. I've always been very confused in this. What is this? Interfaces, constants, classes. This is probably one of those things, if I sat down and watched it all the time, I would, oh, oh, it probably value change is part of whatever the base of this is. So this thing probably extends something. See, can we tell from here? Selector, mat select. So it doesn't really tell you. I could have sworn. See, I think whatever the base component that this thing is expanding from, which I'm guessing that's what they did, it has a value change. But I don't know what. Right, so I feel like we want to use the selection change. And then change locale. And then I would imagine it sends an event like that. And I don't know what the event is. Usually I think it'll help you though. Okay, so now I want to go to change locale. Over here. Change locale. And that's not going to return anything void. I probably would, if I was doing unit tests, I would probably do it. But and then I believe, I don't even know what this is. It's probably like, so what I usually will do is I'll say value and then string. And then I'll say console log value. And then like sometimes it'll, the transpile, like when Angular is like trying to transpile it, it'll catch it. And then sometimes you can just actually do it. Okay, so it's saying that mat select change any is not assignable to string. That's weird. Like this. Okay, so that is probably the whole. And then this I think I have to import. All right, so this is typed. We don't have a typing for it, so I'm going to put the typing down here. And I believe these things are, let's go look over here in our JSONs that are over here. So we are going to get this is what we get from the locales, right? So it gives a name, a region, and a language. So interface, locale, D. And I think we make these capital L. And then it has got a name, which is a string, semicolon, and it's got a region, which is a string, and it's got a language, which is a string. And then it's got, this should be a locale DD. I don't know if it'll let us do it though, because we're not passing that through right now. But I would like to do it right now, if at all possible. So it's just gonna, again, like I'm in a friggin' zone right now. It's like something that's gonna take a lot longer in the future. So does it still error out? I don't know if it's erroring out or not. Let's see. Doesn't look like it. Okay, and then this was it, and it was just like, hey, okay, we made that, but the value is high, and it doesn't know what to do with that. Okay, so what is next? Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to my README over here. So this is what we're working on. We finished a bunch of stuff on it. What is left? So what's left is to populate the, to create a service or update the API. I believe it's called API service, right? Am I right? I think I'm right. Oh, data service. Okay. Data service to retrieve the supported locales, and then to what A will be update the list, the select with the data, the locale data. All right, so basically the first thing we're going to do is update the data service so that it goes and retrieves that. Should not be a big deal. We already have an example, so that's easy to mimic. And then select, update the select with that data. Again, that shouldn't be too bad, but we'll have to write some template code and all that. Let's see. We want to update the select handler to reroute based to update the route based on the selection. So when the user selects something, and I think that's it, and then those through, then that's done, and then so that'll be next week. Hopefully I can knock that out, and then we'll do this refactor for this guy, and hopefully that only takes one session. Shouldn't be that hard, and then that'll be it. We're right at the end here, and this is fun and cool and interesting, and we got a lot of stuff done, and it was not. It's like kind of like the way this is all kind of coming together, and I just have whatever I want. I can just put any language combo, whatever. That's kind of what I'm hoping to get with Three.js, where I could just build whatever I want. Um, but that is much, much harder. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.